Hey everybody, it's Pete. Good morning. Today we're going to talk about the mythical risk reward. It's kind of like the magic numbers where everybody believes they're going to put on a stock trade and one risk, three reward, one risk, three reward, and it's just magic. They just pick numbers out of the air and decide, okay, this trade is worth it because it's 3-to-1 risk reward, and it's like the magical, it's going to make money. The problem is not many traders really fully grasp what are the odds of actually hitting the three? What are the odds of actually making money? How do you stack the odds in your favor so that the three and the one actually matter? So in other words, let's say you're willing to risk $1 to make three. What are the odds? What are the likelihood is actually probably a better way to word it. What is the likelihood of hitting three versus hitting one? What is the likelihood of hitting your profit target versus the likelihood of your stop loss getting hit? We talk a lot about there's your A-plus trade, and then there's everything away from your A-plus trade. As soon as you keep walking away from your A-plus trade, you absolutely need to start adapting and changing your trade management strategy, because quite honestly, some trades are good, but they still need to be worked. And we spend a lot of time on that in the boot camp discussing, yes, it's definitely a buy at this particular moment on the weekly and monthly charts, but where is it now? Where is it on the daily charts? What has it done the last 5 days? What has it done today? And even in the same day, there's different opportunities when you understand how to read the tape, where one trade might be better than the other, even though it's the same exact stock. So there's certain lines in the sand that we call, there's certain ways to perform tape reading that make a stock good in the long term to buy. And when I say good, it means, again, the likelihood of your profit target being reached versus your stop loss. And now today we're going to actually just dissect. We're going to go over some charts, which I don't normally do in Stocks for Breakfast. We're going to go over some charts where you can just quickly eyeball and say, what am I doing? Because I'm kind of well known for tape reading and discussing and showing what the smart money's doing. And I'm gonna throw something out there that I think is pretty interesting. And that's really the fact that a lot of us, especially when we're new traders, we focus on losses. We focus on, oh gosh, that trade lost money, or that trade lost money, or it feels like as soon as I break out, it loses money. I'm going to tell you something straight up. It's not your losses that are hurting your P&L, unless you have really no discipline at all, and you just let your losses pile up and you take much bigger losses than you should. It's not your losses that are the problem. The problem is when you trade when there's nothing going on and you get all these death by 1,000 cuts, and those scenarios where everything lines up and you don't make what you were supposed to. It's your profitable trades that are hurting your P&L. It's your profitable trades is the reason that your account's not going like this, and maybe it's going like this. It's your profitable trades that you're not recognizing amazing situations, and you're only making a little. You're turning a $3,000 trade into 1,000. You're turning a $10,000 trade into 4,000 or even 500 because you just wanted to book the profit. I get asked all the time, what's the profit target? What can we expect out of this trade? And it really comes down to how good of a job did we stack the odds in our favor? How good of a job did we read the tape? And by the way, if you want to learn about this stuff, where you feel like maybe you don't need education, but you absolutely want to learn how to do tape reading, we could trade together for 30 days, and it's only $49. There's really not much downside risk to you. It's really just a matter of getting involved, especially if you're an active trader. So click down below and learn more about what we have. It's called our tape reading room. So we're going to go chart by chart. We're going to go over what, a lot of stocks that I have in what I call my universe. They're stocks that I trade day in and day out, which, by the way, that's a big lesson as well. The more you know your stock, the better you know the stock tendencies, the better you know the volatility, the better you know the volume, the easier it is to be consistent. I understand stock scanners, I understand screeners, but those should be used to find stocks that match your risk, match your resources, match your goals, match your risk tolerance. And then you gravitate towards those stocks because you want to feel comfortable. You want to feel confident that when you place a trade, you know exactly what you're looking at and you know exactly what to expect. And you eventually get to a point, and I know this might be hard to believe for some people, but you get to a point where you expect to make money. And I know right now, especially with the market where it's really choppy, which is big part of what we're about to discuss, especially if you're day trading. NASDAQ stocks have been strong, and the stay-at-home stocks have been strong, but even they're kind of petering out right now, kind of drifting around and that kind of stuff, where they were just an obvious buy and easy, like the money was just flying off your fingertips. It's not the same right now, where there's a lot of indecision in the market right now. So we're going to take a look and see what that means. So I just, while we're doing this, just have in the back of your mind, your winning trades are the problem. I'm going to really get at it, because we're going to discuss certain situations where maybe booking a smaller profit was the right trade to make, certain situations where you shouldn't have been in a trade at all, and you're ignoring those trades, and you say, oh my, you're basketing everything together, where you're saying, oh, I keep losing money. What's wrong with me? What's wrong with you? You should have been in the trade in the first place. And then that's taking your confidence away from when you have a good trade and you book the profit too soon because your last bad idea has affected you up here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through my universe. We're going to go through pretty quickly, but in a very focused way, because I want you to be able to look at a stock. Yeah, the smart money's involved in that, and it's creating new highs and higher highs. That's what we want to look at, and with consistency and with over time. Again, if you think over time, our job as a trader is we want to hop on board of when the smart money, the market is doing something obvious. And the longer they've been doing something obvious, and I'm just going to give you a very simple thought process. Have they been doing it for a day? Have they been doing it for a week? Have they been doing it for weeks? Have they been doing it for months? That's real money committed to that stock, pushing it in a particular direction. So here's the key. When you're in a tough mindset, when you feel like I used to say all the time, I couldn't hit water if I fell out of a boat when I was trading bad. And it really came down to some of them weren't good ideas. And when you understand the difference between a good idea and a bad idea, and you reduce and then eliminate the bad ideas, you immediately start to become profitable, because now you're not making back that money that you shouldn't have lost in the first place. And then when you're only taking good trades and even great trades, sure, you're going to still have some losing trades, but wouldn't you rather, even the good trades are going to have some losses, because that's a part of the probability. We always want to strive that if we are going to make or lose money, we want it to be on our best ideas. So we're going to take a look and see what that looks like. Quickly, you should be able, like that. Something's obvious, something's obvious, something's obvious, or you'll hear me say a lot, that's the right price, it's stuck there. Let it get out of that window. You don't want to trade dull, momentumless stocks. You don't want to do that. It just chews up your capital because there's no edge. So we're going to focus on that. And by the way, if you find these videos helpful, please do me a favor, click down and subscribe so that you get updates. Those are very important. All right, so we're going to head over to the charts, and we're actually going to start out with the market. In this case, we're going to talk about, we're going to do a quick down and dirty. We're going to do the S&P 500. Let me actually just bring that up so we can see it a little bit more clearly. So the SPY, right? So we're actually at the SPY, and we're on the weekly chart. So what we want to walk through is we want to walk through the distinction between this kind of price action versus this kind of price action. And this is really where a lot of traders get stuck, where they see this kind of price action and don't recognize it. They see this kind of price action and don't recognize it. When I see, what I'm talking about is they see movement and they want to make trades, but they don't see the consistency from one day to the next. They don't see the consistency from 1 week to the next. So we're going to start out with the weekly charts, which kind of gives you a little bit wider perspective. And then we're going to go down to the daily charts, and this is really going to come home in a big way, which, by the way, you can see we actually bottomed out, right? We sold off with the pandemic, started rallying. And just from a week-to-week basis, just to train your eyeball quickly, right? You want to be able to say, okay, we had a rally. Then we closed on the lows, so not the greatest environment. But the next week, higher highs and higher lows. Something good is going on here. The smart money, here's the previous close. Here's the new open for this week. The smart money came right back. Higher highs, higher open, higher highs. Okay, higher lows, higher open, higher highs. This was a really good week to trade in that window, despite the fact that we were down prior to that. Now, what happens the next week? You have to start training yourself. What do I want to see? Remember the question. What are the odds of my profit target being hit versus my stop loss? We're stacking these odds so trades become easier and you don't get all this gray hair that I have. So you go to the next week. What do I need to see to feel conviction when I buy stocks? And again, we're using the SPY here as an example. I want to see higher highs. I want to see higher lows. I want to see it trading higher. And we saw that again. Go into the next week. What do I need to see? And we're not seeing that. So this week of trading, where the prior 3-4 weeks was a solid bounce off the lows, and for the most part obvious because we were making higher highs and higher lows. And again, very clearly here, I just want to point this out. This week versus this week, they're both higher highs and higher lows. This week was above the open and trading strong the entire week, for the most part. This week here did not. It was the opposite. So this, compared to this, chart people just recognize it as higher highs and higher lows, and they run scans for that, but they don't look deeper into the price action. So what does that actually mean? What does that mean for your trading? That means you reduce your share size and you learn to build orders in the direction of your idea as opposed to full size because it's not perfect conditions. We were talking about that a lot in the boot camp yesterday. When certain stocks had tougher conditions that was still definitely a buy, I kept harping on it over and over again until it finally sank in. You could still like the idea, but you don't go in with your full share size. You get feedback from the market. You let the market tell you, is this the right risk to justify for the potential reward? If it moves in your favor a little bit, you add to it. If it moves against you, you're not hurt that much because it's not an A+ idea, but you like the idea itself. So you keep working your way out, and then we're going to take a look at the same thing on the daily charts, and you can kind of get a feel now even deeper where there's just no consistency from one day to the next. There's no consistency of buying and selling where there's no buying, and then we're not seeing 2 candles like this in a row. We're not seeing 2 candles like this in a row like we did here. So you see the consistency of opening higher, closing higher, opening higher, closing higher, opening higher, closing higher. And then this day here, if you don't recognize it, the circumstances, especially as a day trader, have changed. So if you're out on the daily charts as an active trader, maybe you're swing trading a little bit more actively, you're not seeing the consistency. You want to see a little bit more of this, where we did have a rally. Now, this is where you start to stack the pieces, right? We have a rally, but we're stuck in this range. It's a really wide range since the June 10th FOMC announcement, but it's still a range, right? We need to get out of this window. Have we gotten out of this window? It looks like we have. We'll let price action tell us. We finally get through there, right? Monster gap. And again, this was on news. If you happen to be watching this a year from now, this was on the potential COVID mRNA stock announcing it. So we gapped up and closed higher. It looks great, right? But we closed below the open again, and we have what's called an indecision candlestick. That's not great. What would be great is if we saw 2 of these. So you see how you start going bar by bar by bar, and whether it's on a daily chart, a weekly chart, or a monthly chart, you start stacking the odds. In your mind, you visually say, how long has the smart money been buying this stock, and how consistently from day to day and week to week have they been doing it, and is right now a great opportunity. So look at the difference between this to this, from this to this. This day was a great day. Well, and I'm speaking from a day trading perspective, but that could be a month, it could be a week. You get the idea? When you start to see this with consistency, that's where the money's made. And then you need to recognize when there's a day, a week, or a month that looks like that. So we're actually going to go out to, I'm going to go to Boeing because it really brings the point home. So you can see here in Boeing, lot of, let's call it consolidation, let's call it lack of consistency. And what ends up happening is you get 5 days worth of buying and everybody starts to get crazy about the stock, saying that I can't get enough of this stock. And they didn't get it the first day. They didn't get it the second day. The third day, it's fine. Now I have to get involved. And they end up buying based on 5 days worth of smart money buying. Now, 5 days versus months. There's months of consistency here. And actually, I'm going to really give you a stark example so that you can see what we're talking about. Here's the weekly chart. And here's the monthly chart. So can you see the difference between what that looks like? And we'll probably be able to see it on the weekly chart a little bit better. So can you visualize smart money piling and committing capital and continuing to commit capital? So now when you take risk, when you accept the risk for a trade, you're starting to see now, how do I justify accepting the risk? How do I expect my profit target being hit versus my stop loss? This is how you start to do it at its most basic fundamental level of tape reading. You're stacking the odds where you're looking for consistency in the order flow, and then you learn to time your entry. So if you take a look at a chart like this, you could say the smart money is buying the stock with consistency versus a stock like this in that same time period, it's all over the place. And if anything, it's actually selling. But there's certainly, and you can see here from week, let's just say from week to week, selling, buying, selling, buying, selling, selling, buying, buying, selling, buying. This is where your money goes to die. When you actively trade inside of something like this, that's where you lose your confidence and you lose your conviction in your ability to make money when you're trading that, and then you carry that forward into good ideas. You're shell-shocked, and then when easier trades fall in your lap, especially this 5-week period here, you're now taking profits too quickly because you were shell-shocked by being in what we'll just call bad ideas. So when you could make the distinction between a great idea and something that you shouldn't be in the first place, you then take a leap forward because now you're not allowing those trades you shouldn't be in the first place. A lot of negatives there. You're not allowing those bad ideas to get into your head anymore to affect the great ideas, and it allows you to make more on your winning ideas because you're in the right trades. So you're not getting shell-shocked and losing your confidence in the good trades because you're staying away from the ones that are just destroying your trading account and destroying what you could probably do in your sleep, but you start to doubt yourself because of all those trades that don't work out. So again, it's not you. It sounds like we're breaking up, right? It's not you, it's the market. It's not the market. It's the trades you're taking that are shattering your confidence and draining your account, that you just need to take a little bit further step to recognize what we talked about today. And it's that risk reward scenario that is the mythic number in trading. We're just taking a little bit deeper today to say, how do we actually have a good chance of that reward being hit? Today, we just touched on it very, very briefly. If you'd like to learn how to do this with me every day, we could trade in real time together. Definitely subscribe to the channel, but click down and learn more about the tape reading room. And I'd love to have you in there. Have a great day, everybody.